Today's topic is estimating square roots. We've been calculating the square root of perfect squares, which turn out to be whole numbers for our answers. So what if we're given a square root of a number that's not a perfect square? If I asked you to estimate the square root of 18, what would you suggest that we could do? Take a minute and think about that, hit pause, and then hit play when you are ready. Let's go ahead and take some notes on this topic. So first of all, let's review. Perfect squares are numbers whose square roots are whole numbers. Examples of perfect squares, we have 64, 4, 196. You could have put in other examples down, 225, 9, 25. Those are all whole numbers that if we take the square root of them, the answer works out to be a whole number. Now let's look at what a non-perfect square is. Non-perfect squares are numbers whose square roots are not whole numbers. Examples of non-perfect squares would be anything except those perfect squares. So you could list something like 6, 45, 180, 3, 5, 7, 12. It doesn't have to be necessarily an even or an odd number, just any number that is not a perfect square. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use our knowledge of perfect squares to help us estimate the value of non-perfect squares. And we're going to try to do this without our calculator so we can apply our knowledge that we already learned. So let's start with this first example. We want to estimate the value of the square root of 50. Now, if you look at this number line that I have along here at the top of the page, we see a bunch of squares. And the number inside of the square, those are all perfect squares. Below that, we have the square root of that number. And when you take the square root of that number, you get the actual side length of all of those squares. That's what a perfect square is. So like the square root of 1 is 1, the square root of 4 is 2, and you can follow here along this bottom line. Now we want to estimate the square root of 50. So let's look at where the square root of 50 would fall along this number line here that has the square roots and numbers on it. So square root of 50 would, if the square root of 49 is here, square root of 50 would be right next to it, and it would be in between the square root of 49 and the square root of 64, somewhere in between these two numbers here. So if I have a little number line, I can record that. I know that the square root of 50 is somewhere in between the square root of 49 and the square root of 64. Well, what is the square root of 49? It's 7, and the square root of 64 is 8. So we know the square root of 50 is a number that is in between 7 and 8. So now if I want to narrow it down and maybe try to even get it to the nearest tenth, what I want to do is I want to look at how far away that number 50 is from those two square roots. So the square root of 50 is somewhere in between the square root of 49 and the square root of 64. Between 49 and 50, that is a difference of 1. Between 50 and 64, that's a difference of 14. So it's pretty obvious the square root of 50 is definitely the closest to the square root of 49. 50 is only 1 away from 49, but it's 14 away from 64. So we know that since 50 is closer to 49, the square root of 50 is going to be really close to 7 versus the number 8. And so a good estimate that since the 50 is only a distance of 1 space away from 49, the square root of 50 is going to be super close to 7, so we could say it's about 7.1. And that's how you estimate a square root. Let's try another one. Let's estimate the square root of 22. So thinking about all my perfect squares, I know that the square root of 22 is going to be somewhere in here, in between the square root of 16 and the square root of 25. So if I put that on this number line here at the top, I know the square root of 22 is in between those two numbers, and the square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of 25 is 5. Okay. I know it's in between 4 and 5, but which one is it closer to? Let's try to calculate that. So 16 and 22 are only 6 spaces away, and 25 and 22 are only 3 spaces away from each other. So it's closer to the square root of 25. Now, I need to try to estimate about how far it's going to be. Because the square root of 22 is 6 away from the square root of 16, but only 3 away from the square root of 25, I know it's more than halfway towards the 25. So since it's in between 4 and 5, I know like 4.5 would be somewhere right here in the middle, but it's more than halfway past it. So it's somewhere in this area right here. So I want you to take a guess. And in this case, as long as you're above 4.5 and not right next to 5, like not 4.9, I would take a couple different answers for that, since we are just kind of using our estimating skills. But I think the answer would be around 4.7, because it was closer to 5, it was more than halfway. That's how we can estimate that one. Let's look at another one. Let's look at problem number 3 on the page. We want to estimate the square root of 103. Now, my chart at the top doesn't have the numbers carried out that far, so let's look at our knowledge that we already have. I know the square root of 100 is 10, and I know the square root of 121 is 11. The square root of 103 is somewhere in between those two square roots. So it's in between 10 and 11. So now I got to figure out what it's closer to. Well, this one's pretty obvious. The square root of 103 is only 3 away from 100, but it is 18 away from 121. So it's definitely going to be a lot closer to the number 10. It's going to be very close to it since it's only 3 spaces away. So an estimate could be maybe about 10.1 or 10.2. All right, so that is how we estimate some square roots. What I'd like you to do now is try a few problems on your own on page 16 of your packet. Do not use a calculator to estimate. Use your knowledge of perfect squares. And when you're all done, go ahead and hit play. All right, let's see how you did. Problem number 4, you had to calculate the best estimate for point A. So if you look at point A, we see that it is in between 3 and 4, which means the square root of 9 is 3 and the square root of 16 is 4. So it's somewhere in between those two square roots. Looking at our choices here, the square root of 7 would be lower than the square root of 9, so we know that's not it. So it could be any of the other 3. The reason why the answer is C, the square root of 15, is because point A is very close to the number 4, or the square root of 16. So C would be the best guess. Problem number 5 says which would be the best estimate for the square root of 198. Well, if you think about the square root of 198, it is in between these two perfect squares, 196 and 225. The square root of 196 is 14, and the square root of 225 is 15. We can see that there's only a distance of 2 spaces from 196 to 198, so it's very close to 14. So the answer is A, 14.1. Problem number 6, your answer should have been the square root of 90 is in between 9 and 10, because the square root of 90 is in between the square root, the square root of 81 and the square root of 100. So it's in between 9 and 10. The square root of 175 is in between 13 and 14, because 175 is in between the square root of 169 and the square root of 196. Those are the two perfect squares that 175 would land in between. And the square root of 169 is 13, the square root of 196 is 14. Now, the next problem is a little bit trickier, so I want to take a minute and I want to focus on that. Letter C right here. It has a negative square root of 12. So if you remember, if you have a number line, when you have negative numbers, they're getting bigger as you go farther to the left. So that's an important idea for you to remember. Okay? So if I have a negative square root of 12, let's think about the square roots that the square root of 12 would be in between. So the square root of 12 would be in between the square root of 9 and the square root of 16. But the square root of 9 is 3 and the square root of 16 is 4. Now, if we're talking about negative numbers, in between the negative square root of 9 or negative square root of 16, that means it's in between a negative 3 and a negative 4. And remember that, again, the numbers get bigger as you go to the left. It's just that it's a bigger negative number. So this is negative square root of 9, negative square root of 16. So the square root of 12 is in between negative 3 and negative 4. Lastly, let's look at problem number 7 here. It says Rebecca bought a square table for her kitchen. The area of the table surface is 65 square feet. 65 is not a perfect square. What's the approximate length of one side of the table? Well, if we were trying to find a side length and we know the area, we need to take the square root of that number. So we're estimating the square root of 65. That's really close to a square root that we do know, the perfect square of 64. The square root of 64 is 8, so the square root of 65 would just be a tiny bit bigger, which is 8.1. All right, finally, let's see how you did on problem number 8. You should have an A here, a C there, an E, a B, and then a D. Again, it's all about knowing your perfect squares and knowing what numbers that the square root that you're given is in between, what perfect squares that it's in between. I hope that helps you on estimating square roots.